This is a Ruger 1022 Charger semi-automatic pistol. Relatively new offering by Ruger, and I love it. I think it's an excellent design because it's a Ruger 1022 just in a legal pistol form. And that's what it looks like. Comes with a beautifully sculpted gray-green laminated pistol grip stock. Also a short Harris bipod is attached to it as well. And that comes in as part of the package. Nice matte finishing on the barrel. Very nicely done. And it's a really interesting barrel profile too. It's thick here, then it has a strong taper going all the way down. I don't have my ruler with me, sorry, but I suspect that it's about, I don't know, 12-inch barrel, maybe 14 inches, something like that. Comes with a tactical rail on it, or a Picatinny rail, and a real nice crinkle finish on this receiver of the Charger, as opposed to the standard painted finish on regular 1022s. So kind of higher end finish, and that carries over also to your optics platform there as well. Now I'll tell you why I love this gun so much. And if you saw my review on the GSG5, and I'm sorry I said 9 when I ended that video, I meant to say GSG5. It's that MP5 looking submachine gun. It's a great gun, I really like it, but in a lot of ways I would prefer this, at least over the pistol version. And the reason I say that is because the Ruger 1022 is just a superior rimfire platform. And if we go down the list of things I like it, one is at the top of the list is accessories. That the Ruger 1022 is so incredibly successful that there are just a myriad of things that you can do to this and every other 1022 to customize it to your liking. Whether you're talking extended, extended bolt handle here, different triggers, all kinds of different triggers. Volquartsen offers one that I have in a 1022. It's outstanding. Different magazine releases, and now the awesome availability of magazines for the 1022. And that's a main reason I would say that this offering would beat the GSG9 for that reason alone, is that we can use any 25 to 30 round 1022 magazine that we like. I think not ram lines I don't like so much, but the Butler Creek steel lips are excellent magazines, and also Tactical Innovations, which just came out in the last couple years, are outstanding, both in polymer and aluminum formats. Are just excellent. But the Charger, as it comes from Ruger, of course only comes with a 10 round magazine. And I love Ruger. They make so many good guns, but they're always getting the sporting slant to things. They never will do a tactical slant. Everything has to be related to hunting or whatnot, and I wish they wouldn't do that. It'd be cool if they configured this gun in a tactical rather than a hunting format, because truth be told, that's what they're trying to intend with this gun. Is it's kind of a pseudo long-range pistol and 22 long rifle. Granted, that caliber is not a long-range caliber, but that's what this is, a hunting pistol. That's why they give it with provide it with a bipod, and the hand grip set up for that. But I don't have a huge issue with it. That's just an observation. Ruger always does that. It's always related to hunting or sporting somehow. Heaven forbid they come out with a tactical Mini 14 or a tactical Ruger 1022. They should, but they don't, because they just don't do that, and it's a shame. If they came out with a tactical version of this in black, or that, it wouldn't be a lot they'd have to change about it. It would just be even cooler. But that being said, as it comes, the Charger 1022 Charger by Ruger is still a very well executed gun. Impact Guns is selling this for $299, so I think that's a fair price for a lot of gun. And if you compare it against the GSG5, that MP5 look-alike 22 in semi-automatic, this is over $200 less, and yet it will have the reliability of a 1022 and the access to all the accessories to include magazines of the 1022 as well. So in that respect, I think it's going to be superior. Let's weigh this and see what it weighs. both with and without the bipod. Now I'm going to put the 10 round magazine in to be fair, and we put it on the scale here, and with the Harris bipod we're looking at just over 4 pounds. 4 pounds 2 ounces. Now if we take the Harris bipod off, by the way, it's the version that has the quick detached thumb screw on it, thank you very much. So that apart. Now let's weigh it again, if I can get my scale to reset, and it does. 3 pounds 7 ounces. And actually it feels fairly good in hand with the bipod off of it. And one thing that you can't tell on a tabletop review, and nor have I shot the Charger, but I've shot short barrel 22s a lot like it, and I'll tell you this, they're a lot funner to shoot than a long barrel 22. It's because they have more blast and more sound. They're just fun to shoot. I love them. They're just a blast, so to speak. Now, you may be tempted to put a forward hand grip on this thing, you know, and there's probably a way to do it, but that would be illegal according to the NFA, National Firearms Act. Just be advised that would not be a good thing. If you do that on your own, and I don't recommend it. I always like keeping things absolutely legal, and I recommend nothing else but that. But let's talk about the ergonomics as it is. It's got that nicely, beautifully contoured laminated stock. The pistol grip is very comfortable. The only criticism I would have against it is I wish this portion was a little bit longer, because my hands again are a little bit on the large side, and I run out of vertical room on that grip just a little bit. It's not a showstopper, but it's just worth mentioning. It already has an extended magazine release in it, which I'm really glad to see. All 1022s from Ruger should have that. It only cost them 50 cents to make that polymer part, and it looks like that indeed that magazine release is made out of polymer. So pretty nice job on that. Wish they all had it. Now I'm not going to dry fire this, because I do not recommend dry firing 1022s or any rimfire for that matter. It's not good unless you have a snap cap in there. But I suspect the trigger's just about like all 1022s I've tried, which is it's decent but not super great, and it always can be improved by the addition of an aftermarket trigger module, and there's a lot out there. However, most of them are pretty expensive. But again, with the accessories, you can always get a cheaper way around it, and there are trigger kits for the 1022, and also there's a myriad of gunsmiths that will do a trigger job on just the factory innards of a 1022, and that works out great. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this is a two-step optical rail that Ruger has on here, and I like it. In other words, it has a 3/8 inch dovetail if you want to use 22 optics, and also it has a standard Weaver rail. I think I called it a Picatinny. In actuality, it's actually a Weaver rail with a 3/8 inch dovetail on it. So it would accept any bases you wanted to throw on there. Also, I've noticed that throughout the years, some people feel it's necessary to extend that base out, and there's bases by Volkorsen and others that come out over the barrel and actually will mate onto the barrel, and you can attach it, thread your barrel, so the optics platform's attached to both the receiver and the barrel. I think that's a little bit overkill. I've never seen a need in a 22 format to do that. I think it's just overkill. Also, this is a specially tapered barrel. I doubt there would be a mount that would fit this barrel. Now, interestingly, you could attach one of those Tactical Solutions 16.5 inch barrels to this gun legally. There's nothing that would prevent you from doing that, if I'm not mistaken, and it wouldn't add a lot of weight. It would add more velocity and quiet the gun down a lot too, so that's just an option. However, as it comes, the Charger by Ruger is an outstanding pistol. I suspect it's going to be very accurate, very reliable, and fun to shoot, both in free-form pistol and also if you want to attach the Harris bipod from a bench or the ground. Either way, I think the Charger is a lot of gun for the money. In fact, I really like to get one down the road. You can't beat it, especially when you go with the Ruger name and the amount of accessories out there. So that's my review. Nothing fancy. This is just a tabletop review. Haven't fired it yet, but I suspect it's going to just pretty much rock. Ruger 22 Charger, laminated stock. Nothing fancy. I'm done.